Welcome to this SAT item. My name is Michael and I will be your host, showing you a solution to this problem. So, for all numbers x and y, let the operation be defined x operator y equals xy minus x minus y parentheses. If x and y are integers such as they are not equal, and x operator y equals 0, then xy equals what? So to start this off, I'm going to look at the information that I already know, which is x operator y equals xy minus x minus y, and x operator y also equals 0. So I can substitute them and get that 0 equals xy minus x minus y, parentheses. Now I want to distribute that out so that I know exactly what I'm looking at, which would be xy minus x plus y equals 0. And now that's as far as I can go, and I just need to look at the answer choices. Always remember that you have answer choices to compare to. You're not just looking for a number in thin air with multiple choice items. So let's start out with 2, because the nice thing about 2 is it only has 2 factors. So I only have 2 factors that I have to consider. They would be 2 and 1. So 2 minus 1 plus 2 does not equal 0. 2 minus 2 plus 1 also does not equal 0. And I might think that it was time to move on, but I have to remember that -1 times -2 is also would give me a positive 2 for xy, because a negative times a negative gives you a positive result. And so 2 minus -1 plus -2, unfortunately, is still not 0, as is 2 minus -2 plus -1. So I'm now going to move on to, well, what if xy were negative? That would tell me that one of the 2 factors would have to be positive and the other negative. So I could either have -2 times 1 or -1 times 2. But each of these could be either x or y in the equation, so there are still 4 equations that I need to consider here. 2 minus 1 and 2 minus 2 plus the negative other don't give me 0. Switching them around, 2 minus -1 plus 2, 2 minus -2 plus 1, none of these equal out to 0. But I do like starting with a negative xy. It seems much more reasonable that a negative number with something subtracted from it, especially if that could be something negative, and something added to it, could probably balance out to 0. So the next one that I want to look at is -4. Again, one would have to be positive, the other would have to be negative. It could be -2 times 2, which is nice because then I have one less thing I have to flip around, or -1 times 4, or -4 times 1. But 2 and 2 both multiply to 4 and add up to 4, so that looks really promising. -4 minus 2 plus -2 gives me -8, so I'm not quite there yet, but if I reverse those and subtract -2 from -4, or add 2 to -4, and then add another 2 to -4, I get 0, and that is why D is the correct answer. I hope you enjoyed going through this item with me today, and I hope you will join us again.